And it's Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen, and we are live here at the NWF Rewind studio. You got your favorite host, Dixie Dave, along with the fool, Crusher Crossen.
Why do you say fool? Where does this come from?
Well, I mean, you're trying to be cool, Crusher Crossen again, so.
Well, I'm just wearing my same cool Crusher Crossen shades that I wore back in the day. If you remember, I wore mirrored aviators back in the day, I noticed in an interview. So, yeah, it's part of my attire. So, and I know that makes you jealous because you don't have cool Crusher Crossen aviators.
See, I don't need the full Crusher Crossen shades. I've got the Dixie Dave shades that when I need them to go dark, they know to go dark.
Yeah, the Dixie Dave wannabe shades.
No.
Yep, that's what that is, ladies and gentlemen. So Ricky Henry filled in for Dave, kind of, sort of. I mean, he did a Rewind show, and when I said, Ricky, welcome to Rewind, he says, no, Rewind, welcome to Ricky, is what he said. He just doesn't learn his lesson. He gets his ass kicked for 18 minutes and 23 seconds by yours truly, and he still doesn't learn.
Yeah, but he put your shoulders down for the 3 count.
But I kicked his ass for 18 minutes and 23 seconds.
Well, I wouldn't say you kicked his ass the entire time. It was a back and forth, and
I kicked his ass.
Yeah, no.
So that's what that is. And Dave, there's a little bit of opinions floating around on some of your comments on Forward. We don't need to get into the specifics, but we kind of said from the get-go that Dave was going to voice his opinion as he sees. You got to remember, everybody, Dixie Dave is loyal to the NWF.
Okay? Yes, I mean, the NWF has been a part of my life for, this will be 40 years this year.
Yeah.
And, I'm the type of person I call a spade a spade.
Yeah. And, and honestly, I don't think there was anything we didn't say on that Forward show that I think was A, inappropriate, and B, not spot on.
I mean, I'm sorry if, anybody in NIPW took offense to anything I said about.
And it wasn't meant to be offensive to anybody in NIPW. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry if anybody took offense to, my comments about the production over there or the booker over there.
Yeah.
Or,
promoting her and stuff.
If
it's just Dave's opinions, and he's
somebody over there has a problem with anything if anyone over there has a problem with anything I said, contact me directly. I'm not hard to find.
Yeah.
Links are in bio right there.
We don't need his comments on our videos and stuff, mentioning things that weren't
even relevant to the conversation we were having.
Yeah, that's really what it is. So yeah, contact Dave. Since Instagram and links are right there on the screen, so you can more than happy to voice your opinion. Dave will be more than happy to respond.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a very nice discussion. I will voice why my opinions are the way they are.
But honestly, Dave, I mean, that show was basically just, as I like to say, constructive criticism.
Yeah.
If we were criticizing anything, it was constructive, and that's all it is.
Exactly. I mean, take it from 2 guys who have over 90 years in the business, 80, 90 years.
I mean, I still stand by what I said. I'm very appreciative of what I did, what I got to do over there, and what we've done so far at the NWF and everything. And I have no regrets on any of that. But like you said, a spade is a spade, and when you see things happening that don't make any sense, you have to call it out. Somebody not one of your prominent guys not being on a poster for 18 months is not acceptable. It's just not.
One of the pillars of your organization.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's, start, do the right things. That's all we're trying to say. And we never even mentioned anybody's name. We're just talking hypothetically when we were talking about that kind of stuff.
And my comments I made were about the promotions department.
That's what I mean. We never mentioned any specific name calling or anything like that. So.
You know, the booking department. You know, that's all I commented on.
And it wasn't on, I mean, these are things that I would expect to hear from somebody who understands the business.
Yeah, I mean, you know, granted, you've got a year or two on me in the business, but I came around right around the first WrestleMania.
And guys, just so you know, I didn't tell Dave what to say. That was his opinion.
I mean, I watch things, I see things. I'm one of those people who I act like I'm oblivious to everything going on around me, but I'm paying very close attention.
Right. And then just placement of matches where they should be on a show and stuff. It's just general things that are just
It's common sense.
Yeah.
When you've been involved in the business for 40 years, you understand how to build a card.
I mean, and when we say common sense, I mean, we're talking 101 common sense. Like I told Dave, when I was 16 years old, I knew how to order a show, put the the order of matches.
Right.
And the other thing, Dave, this is the other thing. When we didn't wait until a few days before the event to decide what are we going to do for a main event. That's not how you do it. You know in advance what your lineup is. You know well in advance where you're going to position everything on that show. It's not the kind of thing that should be a last minute decision. That's the other thing I never talked about that in that show we had, Dave. But
yeah, I mean,
the reason I say this though, Dave, is because then you promote it accordingly. Right. How can you promote a show if you don't know what the hell you're pushing for the main attraction?
I mean, you look at it. WWE follows booking 101. Your main event for WrestleMania, which happens in April, is decided in January.
Exactly. Could you imagine a pay-per-view or some big show from the WWE, and you don't even know what the main event is until a few days before the show?
Exactly.
Not how you. That's what Dave and I were trying to say. You just don't do it that way.
Prime example. I believe it was it Survivor Series 91 where The Undertaker took the world title off of Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, I think so. It was earlier. That was the early 90s. I just don't remember when.
And then a few days later, they had This Tuesday in Texas, which had no promotion, no build to it. It basically flopped. That's the problem. It's like with the NWF. What was it? The show in July, we had no promotional buildup for the Armory card.
Yeah, we had no. We weren't on the cable.
Right?
Didn't even do any posters. Nothing. And there was a lot of reasons why there was only 50 people there.
Yeah, that show flopped because lack of promotion.
Yeah, not promoting correctly.
Right.
So all Dave and I did, as we should on a forward episode, is give constructive criticism towards promoting, doing the right things, using your talent base accordingly and showcasing them on posters. So anyways, we're not going to dwell on that. We're going to, this is Rewind, Dave. We're going to talk about,
we could go on for hours about, recapping things from, the last time I was on, but
yeah,
we're on Rewind now. We're talking about the NWF. We're talking about the garage days of the NWF.
Yep.
And we're talking about our company. So I believe today we're going to be watching
garage doors opening. I guess it must have been an Amazon delivery or something. I just want to see what the hell's going on out there. Anyway.
As if I'm remembering correctly, we're watching a garage.
Yeah, it's
if I may word it this way, we are watching a Yoho Municipal auditorium indoor show.
Yeah, an indoor from 1985 in the summer in June. It's in the middle of the garage taping era.
Right.
Pretty much in the middle of it. We were in the garage from April through November, and this was in June.
Right.
So kind of smack in the middle. And it was a fun taping. You know, these garage tapings were fun because we had complete control in that garage. Like it was our area, our space. Nobody telling us what to do, nobody telling us to be quiet, and we could make the most of the shows. We had no time limits and time restraints, so
nobody coming in shutting the lights off.
No. The production obviously took a step backwards because we went from, you know, the Group W cable production studio to the one camera,
right,
portable. That's kind of a downgrade production wise, but it made the league grow. So like I was telling Ricky, you know, and Ricky, by the way, on that show that Ricky did with Rewind, what we just did, he was actually pretty good. He didn't get on me as much as I thought he was going to.
Yeah, I kind of got that just because I wasn't really seeing that many shorts popping up with him.
Yeah, he was pretty good. You know, a couple times he took some shots, but like I think there was one thing he brought up where somebody said, "Do you think Crusher's over talking as how good he was at wrestling when he watched him in these early days?" And he said, "Yeah, he basically wrestles the same as he did back in these days as he did when I had him, and I felt sorry for him, so I went easy with it and tried to make him look good." And yeah, he just started talking all his shit. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But otherwise, he didn't get on me. So, but then when his little segment came up, yeah, he's like, "You son of a bitch." I said, "That was Dave's idea." But it wasn't much. It was just a couple quick little interviews and segments. It wasn't a whole lot that I showed to Ricky, but.
And you know, before we get too deep into the show here, I do want to make a quick comment to our viewers over on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram viewers.
You know, you guys over there, we love you. We'd love to have you over here on YouTube. You know, click the link that's right there in the bio. Come visit us over here on YouTube. We can talk with you. You know, you shoot us a comment, we can see it, we reply to it.
Yeah, because right now we don't even know you're there. And we don't see the comments on Instagram. They don't come into our comment feed here, but here we see the comments. And speaking of comments, Dave, I do want to show this quick. Welcome to Kelly Chapman. He became a championship club member in our championship club on YouTube. That's it.
Welcome in, Kelly.
You can join the membership.
Joining the family.
Yeah, it's just joining our memberships. You know, the championship club will give you full access to what we do as watch-alongs here in full HD.
Right.
Where the watch-alongs are kind of dummied down a little bit, more around even less than 720p even.
Yeah.
Just because we need to make it be able to stream clean. But when you join the championship club, then you get full access to
our video vault that's there.
Yeah, everything. And which is pretty cool. And so you can see everything. You can see these shows without me and Dave talking over them. You can see everything. And
you can hear the commentary. You can pick and choose which era you watch.
And it's really a nice quality. So for those of you who have YouTube on your big screen TVs and stuff, you can bring it in full screen, and it's really nice to watch it that way. So so a lot of people have YouTube on their TVs now, Dave. They can just go right to the YouTube.
I know I do.
Yeah, I know. It's nice when you watch nice quality stuff.
One other thing I'm going to say to our Instagram viewers, you know, I don't remember the exact time frame that they give you over there, like half hour to an hour. You know, a lot of times we go over an hour. You miss part of the show by not coming over here.
Mm-hmm. And you want to make it over here. Now, Dave, in your old age, you're forgetting things.
No, I'm not forgetting to remind you about what's coming up on the Video Network.
Because you're supposed to say what's coming up on the Video Network, and I had to remind you twice now. Twice.
No, twice, I was just trying to get our stuff out.
Twice.
Okay, so you've had to remind me twice. I've had to remind you how many millions of times?
I just like the way that sounds. Twice. That's how Ricky would do it, so I do the same. But anyways, let's pull that video up and see what's coming up on the network, and then Dave and I will be back. This is coming up on the video network. What is the date here? It's coming up the April 1st. So let's take a look.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
So a little boy here running his little mouth and just flapping his wing.
Well, what exactly is going on? Hey! Somebody get some security in here. Let's go. Come on.
And I'm going to tell you one thing right now, Dion Dallas. You put your mouth in gear before you put your brain in gear. And you sat there flapping your gums before you knew what you were talking about.
Controversial match. Can't take it away from you. You are the champion.
Yes, it was controversial because Crusher Crossen lost his head.
You gotta get him on this way. You gotta wear him. Hey, a small package. Still going for the bin. 1, 2. Oh. Hey, make a wish, sports fans. Oh man, you gotta be kidding.
Right now, Kelsey's trying to take away some of those.
Hey, big drop kick right in the teeth.
Boy.
That'll rearrange your dental work.
Leg of Crossen. Crossen into the turnbuckle. He almost hit the pipe there.
I think he did hit the pipe.
I did not get pinned at the Anoka Armory, and I did not submit to anyone. Yet here we have a new world champion on our hands.
I've seen this guy wrestle before, and he's a man of 1,000 holds. Vader's having a hard time deciding who to cheer for between these two.
Whoa.
White Ninja or the
Ryu holds him. White Ninja holds him. Vader through out the second rope.
Oh, big clothesline. Oh, man. He is out like a light.
It's about time we do get a title shot, and we're just going to show what we got, and we're going to just kick some butt.
Come on here, bragging your boxer shorts off that you brought me up into your north woods to chop down trees. Anybody can go up there and chop down a 2-inch spruce. And as far as what you got for a barn up there is an outhouse with a half a moon on it, that patch it up. It just don't work right. It just don't work right at all. Well,
hey, what's going on here?
Don't see him anywhere.
Please don't.
He's getting it.
For him. You know, I mean, this guy.
Excuse you. Pretty Boy Taylor is here.
Grizzly Stevens, listen up. You want me, you got me, fat man. Come get me. Crusher, you want me, you come get me. I'm right here right now. Let's go now.
Yeah, April 1st, that one hits. That's one of our later
the
episodes.
fans will get to see you, quote unquote, break Kelsey's jaw.
Yeah, that match is in there. And then also Jamie McParland's tag team match with Mike Whaley, aka the White Ninja, them two against the Mystery Man and the Ice Dragon. So two matches on that particular show. But yeah, that was a good. It's one of our later shows. Now what we're watching today is one of the earlier shows. We're going back to the garage days.
You know, we're not quite fully professional at this point with the capital P.
Not what like that preview we just saw was like a couple years in evolution from today. We're going more to when we were still kids and didn't even meet Eddie Sharkey yet. And yeah, this is even about 9 months before we did our first Armory event. Even very early stuff. It's probably just over a year old. The league was only just over a year old at this point. But the cool thing is we're in the garage and the ring is a somewhat functioning. It's just not the platform isn't, but the ropes and posts and everything are all like legit. I mean, they're thin ropes, but they're actually turnbuckles and everything's, you know. So, and like I said, like I told Dave, you know, like we talked about, you know, we could get, Dave never experienced the garage days because this was before Dave joined, but you know, we could get as loud as we want in that garage. We can make us, complete control of that area. And
well, as I remember at Fred Moore in the dungeon, we didn't really have a lot of restriction.
No, we didn't. But we couldn't, like, I remember some of the kids ventured off in the archery area where they had the archery stuff and everything and messed with that. And I remember that came up at the end of our pilot as we were messing around with that stuff. And you know, we had time constraints. We could do when we went into Fred Moore, we had to be out in a certain time.
Right.
That too. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting time. But I suppose we can start the show and we can keep talking.
Right.
Let's get this thing going. And but I know that this era of the garage days was really fun. I remember this was some of our most fun shows we ever had in the garage. Were the ones we're going to watch today here, because we had so many kids. This was right after the Eyewitness News report on Channel 5, so we had all these kids wanting to join, and we had just a bunch of new wrestlers coming in at this point. New and green, and green for our era. I mean, we're all pretty rough in these days, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, fun time though. Like I said, we were out of Group W cable. From like this intro is showing Group W cable stuff, and this was highly, very restricted in these days. It wasn't even a ring.
Of the NWF.
At least now we have like I said, the ropes. You could actually hit these ropes. Or in the Group W cable ring, we couldn't hit the ropes. These ropes you could actually hit like in any other ring. Actually, had turnbuckles. Yeah. And in the garage is the first time we started doing the live studio audience, which was just us, but we were acting as a crowd.
Butcher Bulldog.
By the way, I hope it's loud enough. It seems kind of quiet to me now, dude. Did you hear it okay, Dave?
Oh yeah, I'm hearing it okay.
Well, maybe it is fine.
You know me, I'm half deaf, so.
Yeah. Kelsey still thinks he's the champ. Have you seen some of his comments lately?
I have not.
Yeah, he still thinks he's the champ. He never lost it. That's what he says lately.
Well, you'll have to direct me to some of these comments so I can reiterate the fact. Kelsey, I know you're watching, but you failed to appear for a title defense. Henceforth, you were stripped of the title. The title was awarded to your opponent, which was Thandar the Barbarian. And in turn, Thandar lost it, if I'm correct, to Big Grizz.
Yeah, to Grizzly Stevens. And so what that means is...
What that means, Kelsey, is you lost the title.
Yes. And your championship reign is no longer.
Your reign ended the date you failed to appear for your title match with Thandar.
Exactly. Yeah, the Butcher wasn't the best in here at taking moves. Even when he got more skilled in '86, he still was.
Right.
He wasn't the best at, And Kelsey could deliver offensively pretty good, but man, Kelsey couldn't bump for anything either.
No. Well, I don't think it's he couldn't bump. He just didn't want to bump.
Or is somewhat afraid to,
Yeah.
Remember, this ring wasn't forgiving. This platform was hard as, it was just plywood, no give.
Yep.
So it wasn't the most, this is not a comfortable ring to bump in by any means, but we're kids, and as kids, you can just take it more. Yeah, the quality of these old shows really clean up nice. Project Starlight, as you can see, it looks, and this is, it's 720p or whatever, a little less.
Right.
When you join the championship club, you get to see it in 1080p, full HD.
Right.
It's much better.
Butcher starts hammering away on.
It's Brian Balabon is her match commentator. He's a good commentator. He's really good at it. A lot like, it reminds me of a Mike Tenay. If anybody remembers Mike Tenay back in the day.
Kid Kelsey is out of the ring.
It's got a very similar style to Mike Tenay, I think.
Count. Okay. As the count of 5 comes down. 6, 7. Kid USA Kelsey is out. And he only gets to the... back goes Butcher.
Yep. American flag hanging up the back corner.
Yep. And Kelsey does a Pearl Harbor job on
Order here.
the Russian Bulldog.
Yeah, he did. You know, it's funny you mentioned Pearl Harbor because I used that phrase with Ricky Henry, and he couldn't believe I said that. That's normal, right, Dave? That's when we say Pearl Harbor here in the United States, everybody knows what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
it's just a very common saying of getting hit from behind or sneak attack.
You know,
Yep.
I'm just so great because I come in here and Kelsey just got done.
Well, there I am.
Russia guy comes from
Run in your mouth again.
What he's doing around here, I don't like him myself. I'm gonna get a match with him as soon as possible. But the main thing's this: today's the day, man. I'm getting my title shot against that mosquito Ace, and I'm gonna win it, man, because I am so psyched up. And as I'm gonna win it because I'm not gonna win it. Another thing.
I'm gonna win it because I'm not gonna win it. What the hell am I saying, Dave?
I have no clue what you're saying, Crusher.
No tag team partners.
Oh boy.
Like I said, you just love running your mouth.
2 at a time, 3 at a time, 1 at a
Oh,
time.
that's right. This is that.
Two at
I
a
do this
time.
4-on-1 handicap match too. The Balabons and the Bunuses. Yeah, that was fun. It was out of control, but it was fun. That match. That's coming up later on the show here.
Includes Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. B, Brett Belschner.
The crowd is on the
Tall, really tall
bad
kid.
side of Dr. B.
Yeah, he definitely can't go off the middle rope.
And this is Thandar.
Gets a round of applause
And Thandar's tall too. So they're two tall guys.
commentary here from Kid Kelsey, USA.
It's like the battle of the tall kids here.
Giants.
Yeah.
Dr. B from parts unknown. Both men from parts unknown. Both very big men.
Yeah, and these days Tim was very, very timid.
See? They're standing around there. Now they're going.
Like very quiet. Very, very.
That's 2 punches
Well,
by Dr. B.
here's the thing that aspiring wrestlers need to learn is the more you're in the business, the more your confidence grows.
Yep.
Smashes. And a foot to the stomach.
Notice how he's stomping when he kicks. He missed that one by a mile. But
Yeah.
the thing is, though, when that was a thing, like for people nowadays, they're like, "Why is he stomping when he kicks?" Look, everybody did in pro wrestling. That's what you did. When every time you hit or kick, you stomped the other foot.
Let's give an Irish whip.
Very common.
Oh, misses on the clothesline, but
Right? They don't do that so much anymore now.
Nope.
That was more of an '80s style, but I always thought it was good. I love the sound you get from the ring when you do that kind of stuff.
And that's exactly why it's done.
Exactly.
It's like a wrestler slapping their leg when they deliver a super kick.
It's a nice drop kick by Brett. He actually got up pretty good for that. For a big, usually the big guys can't do that kind of stuff.
If I do say so myself.
I'm surprised Thandar's being so giving.
Yeah, well, again, like I said, he was a different kind of guy in the beginning. Very,
how was your match against the Butcher?
No sweat, man. That Butcher's a fat lard.
I liked him though right off the bat. I just liked the image. I liked him, he's a big guy and everything. I really liked the character at first.
Right.
Called him Thandar, but it actually kind of revised it to Thandar after a few shows.
Oh, as Dr. B goes out of the ring.
Well, by saying Thandar, we avoid any copyright infringement.
Gets the count of 3 on, but Thandar with a knee into the. Oh, and almost out of the ring.
Looks like he hit the pipe.
Dr. B
Yep.
goes down in pain. We have 1, 2, 3, and that is it. As your winner.
No shoulder tackle, nothing.
You'll notice there's Ace. This is when we first got the blue belt too. This is one of the first versions of it.
Crossen. He doesn't know what it is. I haven't told no one about it. And as for Kid Kelsey, USA blimp, I have a surprise for him too. Street clothes match. Well, oh boy, I'm ready for it.
Texas style, I hear.
Yeah, I get a. The deal is I get a shot at Ace non-title, and if I win, then I get a title match the following show. That was the deal.
That's it, folks.
I see.
That was the big build-up on this show. Really loud crowd, though. You can tell we have a lot of kids there, right there.
Yep.
You hear all of them.
Electrifying Eric, escorted by
Electrifying Eric Balaban. Brian Balaban's younger brother.
Escorted by
Going by Madness Mike. It's actually Bunis Beefcake.
a new wrestler.
It's one of these guys that wanted to change his name. And
You see they're taunting each other.
so one of our lightweight matches, we had a lot of lightweight wrestlers in this point in time.
So there would be no little league tag team
We call them lightweights. They're just the littler kids.
Yep. It's a way to give kids younger than the rest of the guys a chance.
Yeah, 2 different kind of divisions, more or less.
We are with Electrifying Eric going out of the ring, but coming back in against Madness Mike. So far, it looks like it's been Michael.
The ring's still not as big as it would eventually get. You know, Steve and I kept making this ring bigger and bigger and bigger. I can tell by looking at it, though, it still looks pretty small, maybe 12 by 12 right now.
Oh, and he throws.
When we were done in the garage, this ring was 15 by 15.
Yeah, it looks like
Kick from Electrifying Eric.
it'd be difficult to
As Michael Madness is now down.
do a suplex from one corner to the other.
Yeah.
And a kick again, and another hit.
This was the best vantage point for the camera in the garage. I wish I would have kept using this spot in the garage because it was such a good spot. That kind of more of a corner view.
As Michael Madness goes out of the ring.
There's some shows in the garage.
It's easier to see what all's going on in the ring at this angle.
Right. And because some of the shows in the garage, I do it straight on, and it just was not as good.
And a closed fist there from
Just
Michael
not as good.
Madness as Electrifying Eric goes out of the ring.
As Dave said, those of you on Instagram only got less than 30 minutes to go before that stream will end.
And
So you need
So
to,
if you're on Instagram, click the link, hop on over here.
yeah.
You know, we're live.
Ooh, and it looks like they're a vehicle
You
or
comment over
something
here,
there.
we can see it, we respond.
Yep.
And
As Rough Ryan cheering
we
on Electrifying Eric.
enjoy the comments.
Yep.
So far,
We don't have our normal crew that always comments. That's Sky Sports crew. They're usually in here always talking away. But I think they're busy with Sky Sports lately. Wrestling tournaments and
basketball tournaments.
Basketball and all that stuff.
And they're on second rope.
Happens every year for those guys.
Both come in.
This time of year.
Electrifying Eric comes back. Ooh, and
I remember that was the case last year this time too.
both
Right.
are out of it. Oh, is Electrifying Eric a smash to the arm?
But you know, we know that they'll catch us in the replays and
Irish whip.
the
Yeah,
shorts.
most people do. Like I'd say 95% of our views come in replay.
Jams them down against the ropes so they can't have a pin.
And to those that watch the replays, if you can make the time to join us live, do it. I mean, we enjoy interacting with our crowd.
Yeah, we always take questions, and
He smashes to the head.
we take any comments in and stuff.
Is the fans
So
Yeah, I mean,
anybody watching, feel free to comment because we always take your comments.
You know, most common question that we get is, where were the parents during all this?
Yeah,
As he puts
that
him
does
down
come
on
up.
the floor.
We've answered it so many times, but
Maintained himself
Right.
so far, but it looks like Bunis.
people, if somebody grew up in the '80s, they look at this and they don't think twice. They're like, yeah, I could see this.
Yeah,
But if you didn't come from the '80s, you know, and you're part of that helicopter parenting era, you're gonna be like, what the hell's going on here?
Chop into the midsection.
How could they get away with this?
Yeah.
Body slam, and he does it.
I'll tell you something, it was the best thing for us. I mean, and you know, we may have not been professional, Dave. We may have not been that good and stuff quality-wise as wrestling is dissected these days, but we were having the time of our lives during this
yeah.
time. Like, so much fun.
Kid USA Kelsey.
Because it wasn't just the fact that we're in what resembles pretty much a ring to wrestle in, but this was also being broadcast all over the metro and on the 22 states.
Yeah, we were living our dream. We were professional wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, it was the fact that we all knew it was going there to all these living rooms, and so that was the cool part.
Let's go a couple steps.
And the wrestling fans in the '80s didn't judge us like they would judge you today.
Right, I mean,
yeah,
10-minute time limit.
they saw a rogue
There are going to be
league
some street
pop up on their
clothes in
TV,
this match.
Yes, that's the one thing I
they were all
forgot.
down for it.
It's 'cause
Right, because
Ace,
wrestling wasn't
you-
in the '80s style
you
wrestling in
got
the old school. It just
pretty
wasn't.
mad. The way you
It
ran
wasn't
right
like
into the post.
perfection
Now
with a
it's legal.
capital P,
You do
like
it,
it like
I
it
do it.
has become
You hit me with
today.
the chain, I hit you with the
Right.
chain. You kick me, I kick you. It's an eye
David,
for
I
an
always
eye,
tell,
tooth
have to
for tooth
remind
out
people that
there.
because sometimes you get people that think like,
And
"Gosh, you guys were horrible." Well,
and Ace,
it's a different time period, guys.
Right.
And I am gonna win. There's no way
Whole
I'm gonna
different
lose
time
a
period.
match.
But I'll tell you this much: it was
I'm
so
not
much
gonna be
fun
humiliated.
as a kid to be a part of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And there are so many kids that wanted to be a part of this and were afraid to call or join, or their parents wouldn't let them. There's, you know, I know a lot of kids that wanted to be on the show that couldn't, or just didn't have the courage to try it.
Right. And you know, the one
In other
thing
words, there's a world
that
of difference, huh?
I got to comment on here is
They're gonna beat us. We're the
I got to
champs.
bring it back to the
And Ace,
I believe it was out in Massachusetts you went to convention.
Thank you.
There was Washington D.C.,
Okay.
Maryland. It was in Maryland.
Right. You went out to Maryland for that wrestling convention.
Hmm.
And a lot of the 80s wrestlers saw what we did
His opponent.
and they respected what we did.
Either they were curious because they just learned of it, you know, and want to know more, or they remembered us.
Yeah.
Nick Bachmichael specifically remembered
As he
us.
circles the
Yep.
ring.
Yeah.
I mean, what, 4-time AWA World Heavyweight
Crusher
Champion?
takes his belt.
I don't know. 7. I've heard 7.
Part of the six-man
Who
team
knows?
trophy.
Lots of times AWA champion.
Yeah.
Bring on. We already have it
Very
going
nice
here,
guy
folks.
too. Very respectful. I mean, he's very polite to us. Me and Charlie were there. Like he treated us very respectfully.
Right.
Now he's getting a body slam. Oh, and he almost power pressed
This
him.
is Crusher Crossen against Rough Ryan. One of the I used to like to go against lightweights like this because I just kind of wanted to, you know, a lightweight being able to have a match with a bigger guy, heavyweight like me, is
Look at this. Just
it
total
elevates the
chaos
lightweight.
here.
Right.
As the ref tries
Even if
to
they win,
maintain-
lose, or draw, just having a match with one of the heavyweights
as we
makes
hear the
their
bell,
class more viable, their
as
weight class.
Rough Ryan
That's why I would do
already
these kind of
gets
matches.
And you know, I
it.
mean,
There's the
some
bell,
people may
folks,
laugh
and
about my
we
win-loss
have the match. It's
record,
electrifying
but
era.
you know,
This is-
a lot of my matches I went against people that were bigger
right
than me.
away, Crusher Crossen
Yeah.
starts with his attack.
You know?
Armbar there by Crusher. Electrifying air, getting in a little punch.
And our first comment of the
I don't know
night.
what kind of move that was, but it worked. As
Hello, Angie.
Crusher Crossen
Good to
distracted
see
there
you
by
in here.
electrifying Eric.
Yep.
And
We'll
he
talk
almost
later.
got himself too much distracted, so Rough Ryan could backstab him.
And I do have to talk to you for a minute after the show is over.
Yeah.
As they lock up.
Ain't doing the lockups right.
Ooh, and a knee
Yeah.
into the midsection as
Hindsight
Rough
being
Ryan comes
2020, I mean, looking back at what we know now versus what we know then.
Comes up,
Yep.
Irish whip. Ooh, and a
Hitting
knee
the
to
ropes Hogan
midsection
style. That's
as
still,
Crusher
people can still
Crossen
do it,
goes
but listen,
down.
nobody does because it's so, it hurts
What are we
compared to
gonna see here
hitting
from
them the
Rough
way
Ryan?
they've
The
trained you
Irish
now.
whip. Oh, and a devastating
I still like
clothesline
hitting them with my back,
from
even though
Rough
that's
Ryan.
frowned on. But
Yeah.
See, body
I like
slam.
going into it that way.
Rough
They
Ryan
don't like that though because
so
if the
far
rope ever
has
broke,
this
you'd go
match
flying right out and land on your head.
controlled,
Right.
but for the moment,
But I don't
'cause
care.
Crusher
It's just
Crossen
old school 80s style,
is, of
man.
course,
I
the top
can't.
contender for
That's
the
my
belt.
style.
Oh, and he had Rough Ryan.
Oh,
flips
Crusher got flipped back into the
Crusher
ring.
Crossen,
Holy cow.
Elbow smash. Ref trying to get rid of electrifying Eric. Few elbows. but
Ryan doing his
look
forearm
at Crusher,
smashes.
He's getting mad. Here he comes as strikes back.
You didn't do the whole Hulk
Oh,
up.
now he's working
No.
on the ref.
No, but you can definitely see the Hulk
Could
influence.
be a disqualification.
Yeah,
Picks
we'd
him
always
up.
go after
Oh, the
refs like
atomic
that.
drop.
Good guy, bad guy. If the refs
As
bugs you or
Crossen
gets in your way, you
gives
just
the
take him
atomic
out.
drop. Here we see.
The Bolo
Oh,
fist.
and he
The Bolo
gave him a
punch.
shot. You say it was a closed fist, says the ref.
Yeah, it was a close fist,
Ooh.
probably.
I don't know what that was. It looked like a headbutt. Oh
When I did the bolo punch to Ricky Henry though recently on that retirement match, I did a palm strike to make sure it was legal.
To me like a chain or something. Kid USA Kelsey brings it in. Electrifying Eric trying to tell the ref that there was a little interference from Kid USA
Just
Kelsey.
getting that crowd going.
As we hear the chant rock and roll.
You know, to any aspiring wrestler, learn how to work the crowd.
Yes, the pile driver. So this could be it for Ref Ryan.
I mean, you learn to work the crowd, that's a make or break it in your match.
A few cheap shots.
Yep.
We're talking top ropes here. He comes down.
Barely can get on that top rope and make it work without hitting your head in the ceiling.
That could be it.
Yeah. Didn't have the high ceiling height in the garage. That was the only drawback. Figure four, rare figure four by Crusher. Usually didn't do that move a whole lot.
Chased by Kid USA. Could this be it? Could this be it?
I like Fine Eric interfered. Saved it for Ryan.
And comes back with a fist to the back. Elbow smash to the back.
Yeah. I had lots of matches with Ref Ryan though, now that I think of it.
Looks for a body slam. He gets it. Kid Kelsey trying to help out his partner. Irish whip.
Eric Fine Eric can't stay out of the match. Keeps interfering.
Rough Ryan.
Well, you know, it's tit for tat. I mean, Kelsey's.
Forearm to the backside of the neck.
Yeah, Kelsey's. Oh, right over the top rope. That should be an automatic disqualification, ladies and gentlemen. I just landed on my head.
Kid Kelsey trying to chase away him. Rough Ryan throws Crusher Crossen out of the ring.
You see how we had the chairs set up along the side there, and that's where everybody would, our studio audience, be kind of in those areas to kind of be our crowd. Just kind of like the studio days, the old wrestling studio days back in the day.
Right.
Very similar.
Oh, and a running knee.
At least it's one thing about this show, Dave. It's organized a little bit better. That's the one thing I've noticed, haven't you? A little more organization compared to some of our early shows get chaotic and out of hand, but you actually see organization right now for a change.
Well, and it's more organized than some shows that we've been on in the past.
Right.
I think it could be, that's all.
You know, you knew what the lineup was
we might see
before the show started.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Is a bulldog.
Kind of a bulldog, Ryan. Come on, Ryan. You got to run with me.
Chanting on with, to his partners. Electrifying Eric trying to distract him. Irish whip coming up. Oh, and he caught him in the midsection. That could be it. 1, 2. Oh, we haven't got the count yet.
Yeah, Electrifying Eric interfering again. Between Kelsey and Electrifying Eric, I don't know who interferes more, but there's Eric again.
He's got it too.
Again.
I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, those two are going back and forth to see who's.
And Kelsey trying to chase him away.
Looks like some kind of a scissor pin.
Leg scissors. Leg scissors even done anymore, Dave?
Everything in his will to distract.
Somewhat.
The NWF Tag Team Champion, Crusher Crossen. Brings. What are we going to see here?
Body slam.
Slam down. This could be it, folks. 1, 2, 3, and that's it, folks. Ring the bell, ring the bell. That is all.
Ring the bell, ring the bell.
As Crusher Crossen.
We did have a good bell. It's that bell that I've got painted red, white, and blue. But it wasn't painted yet.
Right.
But as you can hear it, though, it sounds really nice. So it was a good bell. Good ring bell. Steve Engstrom got that bell for us.
I wonder where he lifted it from.
Yeah, it's an old fire alarm. He must have got it in a pawn shop. You know, cheap.
Yeah.
Knowing Steve, yeah, and then he knew he could just dissect it and tear it apart and make it work. Steve was very handy that way.
Right.
You got pinned in the middle of the ring. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not too happy about that, but the match is fair. Crusher played it fair. He's a tough contender, and I think I could take him on some other time and win.
Yes,
Ryan, of course, is Matt Kelsey's younger brother.
You are new to the wrestling NWF.
Electrifying Eric.
You and your hat do a pretty good job trying to interview with Crusher Crossen. face, and he should be disqualified with the chains in there. Big Kelsey in this rock slam. Yes, but yo, those Robbie.
Now that there's Mean Dean, Ace's younger brother.
Yep.
This kid here, yeah, he's taking over my place for a little while until my toe gets all better.
You were also interfering. How can you possibly say that he was interfering? Because he was trying to get you from not interfering. Okay, so he had the chain, and he started out with Ryan here. And I had to interfere. He was hitting him with the chain, and I saw Kid Kelsey give him that unidentified flying object or something like that, whatever. And he hit him right across the face. Then at the end, he come up and slammed me right in the eye and threw me out of the ring. Oh, I'm going to get a match with you.
I'm gonna get a match with you.
I don't know, Eric. I think you better get a little more weight on you before you try calling out Kelsey or anybody like that.
I don't know why he wasn't. Who broke your toe anyway, Mean Dean?
Hey guys, just go cry to your mommies. I'm sorry.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Mean Dean, who broke your toe?
Well, those one.
No, what it was
What their stupid names are.
with Dean's toe, nobody broke it. He had an ingrown toenail, and he had to have it surgically taken out, or part of it.
Yeah.
That's why he couldn't wrestle and was limping around. Don't ask me how I remember these things, Dave, but I remember that.
Yeah. Somebody with their hand on the camera.
Yep, messing around with it.
As we hear some mixed words.
Me, Dean, and I, when he heals, we're gonna take us two. Want to stand that those two new kids or whatever in a tag team match for the belts, and we'll defend them.
Yeah, they were the lightweight tag team champions at the time, Ryan and Mean Dean.
Sorry, but we are out of time. Here we are, back, ladies and gentlemen, for our next exciting match.
That's Chad Johnson as our referee.
Introducing right now, Energy Erickson.
Energy Erickson, one of the newer wrestlers.
And now entering the ring,
It's going to be Ace.
the NWF champion, Ace.
This is a shoot match, which means it's most likely, or a title match, which means it's most likely a shoot. So we'll see how this goes.
Goes back in, and Michael
Now remember, Ace knows that
who is accompanying
to
Energy
be able, now, Bunis Beefcake is supposed to be in the corner, and he's totally interfering in this match right out of the gate.
Right.
Bellabon, this is uncalled for. What's Madness Michael doing in the ring? He shouldn't even be in there.
I couldn't agree with you more, Crusher Crossen.
Oh, yeah, we got to get security involved, Dave. Get him out of there.
Yep.
So anyways, Ace is,
As we hear the official
you know, he either can pin him or he can make him submit or he can try to run the time limit. That was the three choices he had to keep that belt.
This Bobby
Right.
comes from the Florida State Wrestling, I believe, and
Bobby
he
Erickson,
knows
yeah.
what he's doing
Energy
when
Erickson.
it comes to these kind of things. And Ace, of course, been the NWF champion. I think we had a really good match here. We might even
Well,
see a new champion.
well, we just lost the top rope.
Yeah, I
Came
don't
off the
think
buckle.
we're gonna see one,
Yep.
but this
Thandar's
is gonna
in
be a
there
good match,
helping.
I can tell you that.
Hook it back up.
As
Um,
Energy Erickson here and Ace lock up.
and Kelsey looks like he's got a
Second
hammer
armbar
lock.
from Ace. As they break.
An arm bar, and that was more than an arm bar because he did a little infection.
I'm
Had some
kind of
infection
curious to
on
see what
the,
Ace does here. I don't remember
ligaments
how
in the elbow. I
this
know I
match
feel like
goes,
I've
but
got
knowing Ace, he's going to try to do a
How are you
submission
gonna feel about that match? You come up with
to try to
champion
end
Ace?
it.
Let me tell
That's
you, I've never been so
Well, and
excited
every
in
time
my
his
life.
opponent,
Wednesdays are on their
you know,
feet just about right now, just waiting
Ace
for it.
is-
Everybody's sweating it that they can't just wait to see this.
His
kind of
moniker
match.
is
'Cause this
holding
guy's
true
gonna go
right
down.
here.
I've been training
Yeah.
in Carpy's Court. I've been
Master
training
of the
at
rope
Golden
break. He's
Gym. I've
staying
been
right near the
training at
ropes, so
Ironworks. I've been
And
training
remember,
every
these are
darn place you can
shoots, but
train,
they're
and I can
works.
tell you, I am
So they're
ready
work
for this
slash
match with
shoots.
Ace.
So they're
He's
doing
never
some
gonna be
trade-off
ready.
and
I
working,
know
but
he's not ready 'cause
there'll
I
come a
was-
point
I
where
was
Ace, when he
at
tries
my
to win,
wedding
where he's going to
dress
try to
and I
make
seen him
him
in a
give up
bar
for real.
drinking beer.
And that's
He's
where
really
it'll
training,
end.
isn't he? That's
So
what
it's,
I'm tricks. I'm
or he'll try to
been
pin him.
so-
It'll just,
right.
they'll slide in and out of the
Energy
shoot
Erickson
style, I
keeps
guess.
Doing what he's been doing, you might not get a chance to get the belt from Ace.
I tell ya, I'll still get Bobby because he's one of my main.
And goes
men.
back to that hammer lock.
I don't care for him.
Ace is going down.
I can get that belt from Bobby any day.
Who is wrestling first, you or Kid Kelsey?
You know, that doesn't make any sense right now, Bellabon. I just want to talk about is the National Wrestling Tag Team Champions who have arrived. We and Kelsey are the
See,
World
he's always
Tag Team
going for
Champions,
some kind
but
of
it
arm
appears we got the
hold or
National
whatever.
Wrestling Champions in the studios today. And I tell you, They may be national, but we're world, and we will dominate.
Oh, I see Butcher Bulldog holding Ace's belt in his corner. That's interesting.
Right.
He's trying to
One of the
stretch his
few
arm.
times the Bulldogs ever touched a world title.
Reference there from Kid Kelsey, but back comes Ace and Crusher Crossen.
Me and Ace getting into it because we have our match coming up.
Is broken out.
Yep.
Crusher Crossen trying to interfere, but Ace is just totally pounding.
Yeah, Erickson has shown no offense here, Dave. Very little.
Some kind of
Yep.
What the heck is Crusher doing in the ring?
some kind of control here. Ace.
Trying to distract Ace and get Ace to lose.
Yeah, we got a little bit of out of hand control here.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. Everyone's working on everyone here. Crusher against Energy Erickson and Magic
Crusher
Mike
just needs to
against
get out of the ring.
Ace against.
Yeah.
And you got Electrifying Eric coming in, trying to work on Crossen as he's doing.
That was Beefcake interfering again.
Ref, look at the choke there.
I think this might wind up in a disqualification. Yeah, I hear the bell already.
Yep.
As the ref trying to
So we had a
some
schmoz.
control here.
Yeah.
Electrifying Eric coming back in. Energy Erickson, Crusher Crossen in there. Oh, it's just total chaos here. It's Jumpin' Johnson who's been the ref. And here we go.
Johnson started wrestling as the ref.
I'm telling you, total chaos has broke out here.
Brian always got excited when that stuff got out of hand like that. You can hear it in his voice.
Yep.
Butcher, Bulldog, whichever you prefer.
Bulldog the Butcher.
You have a match next with Jumpin' Johnson. How do you feel about that match?
Well, he always thinks he's such a hot rod. He'll find out what I'm made of when I get in there.
May I ask what you are made of? What are you made of? Chains?
Muscle, that's what it is, muscle. He may pin me, but I will get my revenge. I said last week, after I got thrown out, that I will get at him, and I will.
But I thought Jumpin' Johnson has.
Yeah, him and Johnson are kind of in a little bit of a
made the challenge
rivalry right now.
He has.
Yeah.
So they're going to have their match today, I do believe.
Looks like we're out of
Oh,
time,
we
folks.
just had somebody else join in the conversation here, Crusher. One of your good friends.
Oh, Wayne. Yeah, I figured he'd be here for a rewind. Great promo for Bulldog Butcher. Yeah, Butcher was all right. He wasn't horrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, with our next exciting match.
He had the perfect look for a Russian, don't you think, with the crew cut and everything?
Oh, yeah.
He looks like a Russian, so. Wrestling skills were very limited for him. Johnson was actually pretty good. I wished he would have stuck around. He just didn't stick around. Like, he was only on a couple shows here in the summer, and then he just vanished. But Johnson, we could have done stuff with him.
Oh, yeah.
Chad Johnson here, Jumpin' Johnson.
And this Johnson boy, he's one mean.
I mean, he's really good.
He,
I thought.
boy, I'm shocked as it is.
Because you can see when somebody has it in the beginning. You can kind of see it in them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his selling right there is.
Wrestler, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's no issues selling.
he will be one of the
No.
upcoming contenders.
You ever hear us say crowd, it means we want the crowd to start making noise.
This has been a long-awaited match for
Yeah, we were just saying, Wayne, that it's kind of fun. We noticed that there's a little more control in the matches right now than the chaotic mess that we'd have in the Group W cable days.
Bulldog, the Butcher.
A little more control.
Up against the ropes. Oh, and what a clothesline is.
Another comment coming in from Wayne.
Jumpin' Johnson went down himself.
This match, I mean, did he just get a body slam? Did he body slam the Butcher?
I don't think so. It looked to me like a.
How was the mate? How was the match I did? I think she's asking how was the match.
It's been a very long-awaited match.
Yeah, it was good. It was. I think if you're referring to Ricky Henry, that was a good match. I was very happy to have done that. And my final retirement match.
As we were some chance for the body slam. Butcher Bulldog. Oh, into the turnbuckles again. As Butcher Bulldog works on. Yes, here
Well,
it
gonna
is.
pick him up.
Body slam.
Body slam.
Not a very big body slam.
No.
Quite a body slam, but it looked
And that's
effective to me.
Dr. B and Chad, because Dr. B and Jumpin' Johnson were a tag team. So that's why Dr. B's in the corner.
Taking on Jumpin'. We have a little choke here as the ref is being worked on by.
Yeah, Dr. B working over the referee outside the ring.
Oh no, chains!
That's gonna be a DQ.
This match also has gone out of control here, folks. This Jumpin' Johnson works on.
You know, we commented earlier about how good we were at keeping things under control.
Well, yeah, but at least we're ringing the bell and we're calling it a DQ, right? I mean, you see, back in these days, folks, when you brought a foreign object in, that was a DQ.
Right.
The match just didn't go on with a foreign object like they do nowadays.
With an excellent match we just got done with, and here is one of the.
Yeah. 2 DQs in a row, Wayne says.
Jumpin' Johnson.
Yep.
You got the squad.
Yeah,
Let me tell
apparently.
you something, boy. Did you see the way I just totally mutilated the butcher, so-called? Butcher Bulldog, give me a break. Butcher Bullfrog. The guy's got. Oh, yeah, you see these chains, man?
We could have done stuff with that. I wish we would have stuck around with this.
Oh, yeah.
Good talker as well, as you can tell.
Tag team partner, come on in here. And Dr. B, look at the size of this dude. Just take the looks of this kid right here and the size and power of that dude. You just try and stop us. We are the the National Tag Team Champions right here. You heard me? Give me that chain. You heard me?
Butcher made the mistake to interfere in their interview. I don't think it was a smart idea.
No.
We take anybody. Come on. We'll take you. We didn't get those belts wrestling wimps like you were losing. Come on.
Sorry, but we're on. Oh,
These are really fun days, Dave. I gotta say.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so much fun. The league was really fun right now at this point in time to be a part of.
A special handicap match here. We got the beautiful
Kelsey with the ref shirt tucked in.
Shocker.
The Bunuses and the Balabons. 4 lightweight wrestlers. And I'm going to take all 4 of them on, folks. This is the biggest handicap match I've ever done. That trophy's the 6-man tag team trophy
Right.
that I'm carrying. Just trying to get in the ring, but they won't let me.
Man, this is going wild in this stadium. Ref trying to keep order here.
Wayne brings up an interesting question. Were shoes not allowed in the ring? Yeah, in these days we didn't wear shoes, so it was always socks.
Right.
Nobody wore shoes.
Either you wore socks or you were barefoot.
We were barefoot. And the reason we did the socks is because we always felt they looked like wrestling boots pulled up high.
Right.
From a distance and stuff. I mean, even though you know they're socks, but they look more like wrestling boots. So that's kind of our thinking.
And, you know, shoes honestly get dirt and grime in them, in the treads of the shoe, and that can transfer to the ring and cause injury and infection in the ring.
But we never thought of that. It was more the aesthetic looks of the socks. Like, they just look
right.
Like, look at... I mean, granted, the stripes give it away, but if you notice, like Kelsey,
It looks like he's the only
it looks
one.
like boots. And then, but if you look at the bottom of our socks, they're black. It's because of the garage floor was dirty as hell, and so we're all the kids are walking around in their socks all the time in this garage. Just dirty and up these socks. Could you imagine all the moms that do the laundries?
Oh, yeah.
Seeing
Mom's
their
going
socks.
ballistic.
What the heck are you doing? Yeah, this was fun to take on 4 of these lightweights, but man, it was just like, granted, all the kids were having fun, but there's no, I wish we would have done a little bit more thought process in doing these matches better.
Right.
It's just kind of a free for all,
Finally comes back with another face.
but they sure were fun.
Oh, he throws one of
I know it was fun for the kids as well as fun for you, you know, me as well.
Right.
I don't think Crusher Crossen deserves this match.
Just got to keep constantly got the way this is a 4-on-1, but it was 2 at a time, so there'd always be 2 of them in at a time.
Onto the body of Mandus Michael. Back fist to the chest of. Oh, and a headbutt.
I've done 3-on-1 handicaps. This is the first time I did a 4-on-1 though ever.
Oh, it's a double clothesline. That should about do it for Crusher Crossen. He still gets up. Oh, what is this?
I think I told him I wanted to do a double body slam.
What is this?
Or no, a double atomic drop, but they couldn't get me up.
Their own version of throwing up, picking up, and throwing them down. Exactly what they did.
Camera needs to zoom out a little bit. It's kind of too close.
Yep.
Okay, now let's see what happens.
Now it's Bad Street Balaban in there, and the younger Bunis brother, Brian Bunis, I think.
Balaban, Bad Street.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Andre the Giant in here with these kids,
Crusher Crossen.
because you're so much bigger than they are.
Right.
Okay.
Trying just to get your hands on them. They just, like I said, there was no thought process in the match here.
I want to say something about Crusher Crossen. I have a surprise for him.
Now I got both of the Bunis brothers.
I don't know what our matches,
Double bear hug.
Doesn't matter. That's all I'm giving as a hint. Boy, but when I step in that ring, when?
You know, it's funny how I pushed Troy Bunis like that just there.
Yeah.
If kids pushed each other like that today, somebody'd be crying. Am I right or am I right?
Oh, you're right.
It's funny how, you know, when they say Generation X was a tough generation, they were a tough generation.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Now here's another wrestler.
You know, we're not just physically tough, but mentally and emotionally tough.
Yeah. I mean, you could take a beating like this and wouldn't think anything of it.
Yep.
He steps on both of them.
Uh-oh, we lost the audio there.
We did. I don't know why. Must have been a song or a music or something. Oh, there, now the audio's coming back. Just got really quiet.
Yep. Swinging people around, just trying to keep others off of you.
Yep. It's got the claw hold on.
The Bunis are coming in. They're beating up on the Crusher.
Camera needs to zoom it out.
Yeah, you can't really see what's going on.
Kelsey's down, I see.
Yep.
So that's why there's no control. They're all in the ring. I can see that much. It's supposed to be 2 at a time, and there's 3 of them in there. Balaban's the only one following the rules. I was using Balaban to whip everybody with. Eric Balaban, that is. Video got a little staticky there. Now it's cleared up.
They're beating up on Crusher.
I'm in the wrong corner here, guys.
Yeah, you're at the wrong end of town for sure.
And the ref isn't gonna disqualify. They're gonna. They got him. 1, 2, 3, and they won.
Well, 4 against 1. I think they should win.
Yeah.
Beat up on the ref. Beating up on the ref. Crusher, he's starting to go at him.
And it took 2 or 3 of them to pin you.
Another interview, folks. We have the tag team of the Bunises. Crusher Crossen. I think the Bunises and the Balaban both think you're wimps. Total wimps. What do you have to say, brother?
Yeah, those 2 are brothers.
I pinned you. You heard me and seen me. 1, 2, 3, right there.
Help him.
Yeah, lightweights. All full of spit and vinegar.
Yep.
Which will be coming up fairly quick.
You hear that phone ringing? That was I had my phone line in the garage as well.
Right.
Ah, Pretty Boy Taylor, rare interview. Call himself Cowboy, Pretty Boy.
I'm gonna beat you so bad, you ain't never gonna show up in the NWF again.
Kelsey against Taylor. That was a big match for the show.
Pretty Boy, Cowboy Taylor. We have one of the main events on this double main event card. We have the NWF Heavyweight Championship match between three-time champion and now part of the six-man tag team champion and one half of the tag team champion. He is Crusher Crossen.
Behind a day, Ace, he's not going to be living because I'm going to get that belt for the 4th time.
And now, introducing the NWF Heavyweight Champion of the World. He is Ace. Ace.
Yeah, the belt I got's the World Tag Team title.
All right, we just got word that the Ace is not going to be here. So next week,
what do you mean he ain't going to be here? I got the matches on the... What's going on?
Oops. I think that might have been a swear word in there.
USA Blimp, I want him in here, and I want him in here right now. Nobody's keeping the camera to see. Get on here. All right, send him in. Come on, where is he? Where is he? Give me a picture.
Ace has left the auditorium, and the match will be next week. So instead, somebody want to take this?
Yeah, because Kelsey's going to have to face Pretty Boy Taylor now. I believe. I know that match is on this show.
Yeah.
Here we are with our next match.
So what was the real story?
With the absence of
Oh, that was just a storyline. Like Ace left the building, so I couldn't get. That was his surprise. He's just going to no-show it. So then we ended up doing the match in the next show.
World Champions. He is Kid USA Kelsey. His opponent, he is Pretty Boy Cowboy.
Pretty Boy Cowboy Taylor. Yep. Now, this is what Steve brought to us, though. Like, you know, yeah, he's an adult. He's not a kid. He doesn't belong with the rest of us kids. Yes, I get it. But Steve brought the natural ability to bump.
Right.
And you'll
he brought
see
the ability to bump, and he brought his
selling abilities.
This is going to be one
and he also brought his
cheer for you, folks.
abilities to help us build a better ring.
Oh yeah, all the
transport
behind the scenes stuff. But just his in-ring,
right?
It really rubbed. I know it rubbed off on me, and it rubbed off on a lot of other people. And so our quality of wrestling got better because of Steve, just because of him being in with us. Like because he wasn't a kid. He was an adult, and he could sell naturally. You know, there are naturals in this. And
right.
Steve is definitely one of them.
Turnbuckle over there gets got off the hook. As Cowboy drags Kelsey. Oh, look at this.
It's a hamstring pull, very common in the 80s.
In pain as the knee into his
Common move.
Crusher Crossen. Oh, he gets a smash.
Well, looks like I got a little too close to Taylor.
As we have jumping shots.
I'm wrecking his stuff.
And Thandar over there. Dr. B trying to straighten out the ropes.
Pile driver.
Pile driver comes up as Kid Kelsey.
Pretty Boy wasn't taking too kindly to you messing with his stuff.
Cowboys maintained control of this match all the way through.
Camera's zooming in too much again. Zoom it out, camera.
Starts coming up. Kid USA
Cowboy, Pretty Boy Taylor. Couldn't decide if he wanted to be Cowboy or Pretty Boy.
Cowboy doing heavy damage to Kid USA. Oh, look at that smash. As Pretty Boy Cowboy Taylor is just working.
Yeah, Steve. Like I said, Steve brought
Ooh, and a knee.
his ability to sell and really look good in the ring. It kind of rubbed off on us. It really did.
Yep.
Yes, Cowboy is Crusher
Another
Crossen
comment
comes
coming in
back
from
up.
Wayne.
So the camera is zooming in on his back hair spot. I know that hair spot that was always such an eyesore.
Cowboy goes out of the ring.
Like I said, it was a birthmark and big birthmark he had, and it grew hair for some reason. Very strange.
Oh, look at this total madness between these three people.
I remember Jason used to always joke and say,
Kid USA now
"Looks
in
like he
control.
spilt a bottle of hair growth on his back."
From Crusher Crossen. He's gonna try a body slam him.
Or a
Does he have
backbreaker?
it? Well, you could say
Kind
it was
of.
kind of a half one up against the ropes.
half one's a good way to describe it.
Chains! Oh no! The ref trying to get rid of the chains, but it's too late.
Camera, zoom it out. It just zoomed in too much,
And
Dave.
a devastating
Yeah.
blow to the back neck. Oh, look at this! Crusher Crossen is just hooked. The leg
There we
of
go. That's
Cowboy.
better.
Pretty Boy Taylor is the ref trying to
I'm interfering in this match quite a bit.
around here. But with those three,
Well, it's obvious that
very
Crusher's
hard.
going to interfere for
What's this?
Kid
Oh,
Kelsey.
on the chain, it looks like, folks. Few feet on the leg of Pretty Boy Taylor. Oh!
See, like
to
Steve
the
could
back.
just do the bumping so good, like natural bumping
To that leg,
Right.
which they are working on. When you can find
and
someone
selling
like that.
and all of that, you know. And it just kind of he influenced us in the ring. In the ring, he influenced us. Let's just
Right.
say that.
That right leg of chains on the back. Cowboy is getting now devastating blows all over the place.
Kelsey's working over that leg.
Especially that right leg. That right leg might be a little sore tonight. Is the ref trying again to maintain some control, but that right leg. Oh, I wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, Kelsey understood the
in
chemistry of a
in
match.
that
You
ring
know,
right now,
Right.
Like,
in his place.
he knows the idea. Like you work over a leg, you work over an arm. That's what he's doing. I think Kelsey is better at that than any of us, honestly.
Yeah.
In these days.
Well, I mean, he had a lot of NWA influence.
Yeah, he's watched enough of it. That's just it. The people say, "Well, where did you get your training?" And these days, we got our training from the television.
Yep.
Watching matches.
Kid, nice little trip there by Kid USA.
Another comment coming in from
On
Wayne.
the Cowboy.
I'm a little surprised that Taylor is doing so much selling. Yeah, well, you know, in these days, that was what he was good with, was selling, and that's what Steve did right out of the gate when he first joined. He's just sold his ass off. Yeah, that's what I said rubbed off on me and a lot of others.
Right.
It elevated all of us as far as wrestling. You know, and I know that Steve and I started doing training sessions in these days too. So Steve was also helping get the other kids trained with me. We were both helping train the other kids. We started doing that in the garage days.
Right. Trying to get everybody up to an equal level.
Yeah.
Count us 7. Cowboys coming. Oh, he gets count. Oh, look at that. Little acrobatics there.
Come on, cameraman, zoom out.
Let's see, working on that leg.
On the left leg.
Now he's on the other leg, though.
Oh, boy. That leg is.
I think Kelsey just forgot which leg he was working on the first time.
Yep.
That's all that happened. Think, you know, I'm really, you know, I gotta say, Dave, I think the NWF evolved.
What are we going to see here? Oh!
I hate, you know, you're probably not gonna want to hear this, but I think the NWF evolved to where we did in '86 to start doing live venues and public venues, thanks to somebody like Steve Engstrom being involved.
I can understand that. I can understand you saying that.
He can't even.
You know, he just helped. He helped with it. Not that he had anything to make the final call, and it certainly wasn't his idea to do live venues.
Me, that is Jumpin' John.
But his involvement definitely got our wrestling better.
Right.
To the point where I felt we were ready to go in front of the public. That's what I guess I'm trying to say.
Right now, he's on the mat.
Give me a break.
Now he's just now getting involved with this right now in these days, so it hasn't really rubbed off on everybody quite yet, but it will in time.
Oh, but he misses. As the Cowboy Pretty Boy Taylor goes down.
Yeah, because you get somebody like Kelsey. Kelsey and Taylor was a great matchup because Steve could sell.
Right.
That's what Kelsey needs. For Kelsey to have good matches, it's critical that whoever he goes against can sell. Because Kelsey can offensively deliver and do the chemistry of the match really good. But Kelsey's weak spot was bumping.
Right.
That leg of Pretty Boy Cowboy Taylor. Uh-oh, Pretty Boy Taylor's coming back.
Getting towards the end of the show here. I think this is the final match on this particular show.
Oh!
Neck breaker.
I don't know what that was, but both of them are down and out.
I think I was checking on Kelsey there.
Yeah.
The referee's trying to tell him to count.
Kid Kelsey.
Or they're saying he should be counting, and they're both down.
Fifth time about
Blubber Kelsey.
Blubber Kelsey from Jumpin' Johnson. Oh, out of the ring.
Right into the lap of Rough Ryan.
In comes Crossen, the Bulldogs over there, and Kid Kelsey, total chaos here.
Oh, wait. Is there a Battle Royal on this show? Or is that maybe it's next week there's a Battle Royal, I think. Yeah, there's not a Battle Royal on this show. It's next show. It's the next garage taping. There's a Battle Royal.
Okay.
Someone is injured over there. I don't know. What? Oh, there's blood. There's blood.
A little bit of hacksaw Jim Duggan with the 2x4.
Yep.
Yep. Cowboy Pretty Boy Taylor got busted open when he went into the ring post.
We need the bell here. We need the bell. Ring the bell. Total Chaos is driving out of this match.
I don't see total chaos.
The referee has
Well, looks like I'm get pulled into the ring.
disqualification match here, or a draw. Cowboy is out. It's total madness, folks.
Camera needs to zoom it out.
Yeah.
Can't see what's going on here. We'll have to talk to Wayne about that comment because I think you mentioned that Hacksaw Jim Duggan was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Look at Pretty Boy, don't want it to end. Oh, he just nailed him. It was out of hand.
Well, officially there was no Battle Royal on here, but...
Yeah, this is just gone out of control. I guess I'm going to have to get in there and clear it myself.
There's your favorite Pretty Boy. I'm trying to get things calmed down here, but everybody, yeah, got a little chaotic at the end there, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit.
But for the most part, that show was under control. There was law and order happening there for a change. So let's see. We watched a garage taping this week. That means the next show we're on, Dave, it's going to be Fred Moore Junior High taping. It'll be our next one we do on Rewind. So yeah, studio taping 44 from the garage. Just a fun time.
And Wayne's comment.
He did he was talking about Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Wayne said he got his autograph a few weeks ago. He did a free signing at a sports card shop in Monticello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Hacksaw Jim Duggan came to town for a match or something, right?
For a show, like one of the local companies did a show and Hacksaw was there.
Right. That's probably why he was in town. So it's my guess.
Yeah, if I would have known that he was going to be in Monticello, I should have gone up there. That's not too far from me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty close to you.
Yep.
Wayne, what did you think? Since Wayne's here, Wayne, what did you think of Ricky Henry on Rewind? He kind of seemed like he was very, I don't know. It seemed like Ricky got caught into the action and was like just full of a lot of questions more. So I thought he would make fun of me more than, but he was actually pretty respectful, I guess. I wrestle at the AWF show. This is where Hacksaw Jim Duggan was. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, how was it if he did wrestle? Did you see it, Wayne? I mean, he's like Duggan's like 70 something. I don't know if you call it if he can even wrestle anymore. Hardly. You know, when you get that old,
probably went in, did a couple spots, and
yeah. Because like I said, I'm still recovering over my getting into the ring. You know, my shoulders are still coming along, but my left knee is really swollen up, and it's just, I don't know what I did. I might have to go get it checked out. But yeah.
To be exact, Crusher, he is 72 years old as of January 14th.
Oh, Wayne says he didn't wrestle at the AWF show. So maybe he just made an appearance then or something.
Yeah. That's what I was suspecting it was going to be, is just be there, sign a few autographs, you know.
Yeah.
Shake some hands, kiss some babies.
Yeah, that makes more sense for somebody at his age, you know. Because, yeah, otherwise you're just getting too old.
But, you know, I mean, it's
he
been a good show.
So Wayne says he was scheduled to appear there along with Greg Gagne.
Where did they appear at?
Was Greg Gagne there? Did he show up? I wonder. You know, Greg Gagne is under the hot seat right now with everybody because of the action figures.
Oh, yeah. You know, I thought about getting in on those figures, and now I'm glad I didn't.
I'm still waiting for 2 years for the orders to come that I ordered, you know, that I ordered Series 2 Ultras. And it's because of the tariffs and everything, they're held up.
Yeah.
And so they don't have the money to pay the extra tariff fees to get them offloaded off the, you know. So yeah, it's just a mess. And, you know, these guys should have thought about all this stuff, you know, like, I think it's kind of a crock the way they ripped everybody off on these action figures. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever get them.
I doubt it.
I would think we would, but once the tariff thing gets figured out.
Another comment from Wayne.
Yeah, sounds like they were there. The AWF event. Yeah. Well, I guess we should say, like, what do we got coming up, huh, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, next week, what do you and Ricky have going on?
Well, right now it's just going to be me and Ricky. We're probably just going to start talking about, because it's going to be getting close to his title match.
Right.
So we're probably going to talk a lot about the matchup with Just Mitch and see, you know, what where Ricky's at, kind of get a feel for where he's at, and, you know, see what he's thinking about this match coming up. And
I just hope he's not getting too much ring rust built up.
Well, you know, he's wrestling. He's just not been defending the belt, but he's still having matches.
Okay.
So he's staying fresh that way. But I know he said he aggravated his sciatica nerve, which, you know, he does all those back bumps. You should have seen he took this really high hip throw. He went airborne on one of his last matches, and I happened to see it. And I'm like, wow, you know, it's no wonder his sciatica nerve's bugging him.
Yeah.
And like I said, Dave and I, the next show we're going to be on is going to be Fred Moore taping and studio taping 61. And that's going to be Thursday, April 9th. And we'll be back here in 2 weeks for that one. That's a Fred Moore taping. So that should be you see Thandar in there doing a leg drop to Mr. X in this match. So
nice.
That's what's coming up in 2 weeks. Wayne says he was not able to see all of Rewind with Ricky, but I know it. Yeah, he starts out, I am, with all his accolades of what he is and everything. And I said, well, I am the man that kicked Ricky Henry's ass for 18 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yep.
So there's that. And you don't have much to say about that, do you, Dave?
Well, I said it all at the top of the show. I wouldn't consider you kicked his ass for that long because he also wore you down.
I just made it look like he did.
Ah.
I was playing possum. That's all that was.
Crusher, it's not playing possum when you get your shoulders pinned to the mat.
By the way, Wayne, I know you've seen the match with me and Ricky. What did you think of the match? I never got Wayne's opinion on what he thought of that match. I'm curious what he thought, if it was acceptable or better, worse than he thought it was going to be. Curious what Wayne thought, since Wayne, or like his honest opinion, what he thought Crusher looked like after all those years. You know, at least I'm assuming Wayne's seen our match when we did, because we showed it on a show a few weeks.
Right.
Well, maybe a month or two ago now. Oh, Wayne's only seen the short clips, so he must not seen the forward show where we did the whole watch along.
Right.
I'm gonna upload the whole match. I'm just waiting to get they're adding their commentating crew over there's gonna add their commentating to it. And once I get that commentating to the match, then I was gonna put it up then.
Right.
So but yeah, eventually we'll put that match up on our YouTube channel. So anyways, Dave, I don't know. There's not too much else to talk about. We don't have the Gizmo crew as we usually do. So they're doing Sky Sports stuff, wrestling tournaments and basketball tournaments.
So we should probably call it a night. You'll be back next week with Ricky. I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, next Friday. And by the way, just so you know, with Ricky, we're talking a little bit, and I think what we're going to do with NWF Forward is move it to Thursdays, but not right away. So probably like, because right now Ricky's in school and stuff, and he needs to do Fridays. But once he's out, because this is his final year of like high school, and then he'll be doing college classes next year. So once we get into the summer, then we're going to start doing the forward show on the Thursday, the same day we do rewinds. That way it's a little bit easier to remember.
Right.
So, and it'll just work out a little bit better that way, I think. So that's kind of
already.
And Wayne says he will wait for the commentating version. Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for it too. So once we get that commentating version, then I'll give you guys that upload to the YouTube channel. Maybe we'll do a new watch along with it on Rewind or something, since it's relevant to me.
Alrighty.
So, all right. Well, I think that's about it then for today's show.
Alrighty, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in 2 weeks for me. Next week with Crusher.
A week from tomorrow, I'll be on with Ricky. Yep. Yeah, and Wayne says book Gator. Yeah, we got to get hold of him. We need to have him come on as a guest.
Right.
Gator McGraw. Yeah, we'll work at that. We'll work on getting him. Because you know why? We've got a outdoor taping coming up here in like a month.
Yeah.
That'd be a good show for Gator. So, yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. We will see you guys next time we're live.
All right. See you in 2 weeks, folks.